You wanna know how to do the 3D screen recording effect? It's super easy, I show it to you.
Okay, you can do this with any screen recording. In this example, I'm using a simple Google search clip. So let's start by going to Window Extensions Film Impact Dashboard. Under Lights and Glows, you can find the RGB split effect. Select your clip and click Apply to give it that RGB glitch look. You can also go to the Effects panel and drag and drop the RGB split effect onto your clip. After applying it, go to the Effect Controls. In the RGB split settings, you can adjust the vertical split and the depth split to change the direction and intensity of the color separation. But in this example, we'll leave the vertical and depth values at 0. Instead, increase the vertigo value. This adds a smooth lens distortion that already looks really dope. You can also adjust the feather, which softens the edges of the distortion so the effect blends more naturally. The next thing we do is create an adjustment layer and extend it to match the full length of our screen recording. Here we'll add a smooth mosaic effect, which gives us those digital squares, also known as a pixelated look. Go to the Effects panel, search for the mosaic effect, and drag it onto the adjustment layer. In the Effect Controls, increase the stroke width to around 26 and set the horizontal, vertical blocks, number of tiles, to around 175. This creates those small digital squares. Now go to Opacity and lower the value to around 5% to make the effect much more subtle and less intense. As you can see, the opacity is very low, but we can still notice the digital squares. This works so well because subtle effects feel more realistic. But now let's give it the final touch. Go to the Effects panel and search for the basic 3D effect. You could also use 3D rotate, but in this example we'll use basic 3D, just drag and drop it onto the screen recording clip. In the Effect Controls, go to the very first frame and set keyframes for position, scale, and in basic 3D for swivel and tilt. Next, adjust the starting position for the effect. I'd recommend zooming in slightly and choosing a position that matches your screen recording. In this example, we'll focus on the Google search bar. Once you're done, go down to the basic 3D effect to create the final 3D look we've been waiting for. Use swivel to rotate the screen left or right, which gives it that side angle perspective. Then, adjust tilt to rotate it up or down, adding vertical depth to the shot. Always watch out for black edges when rotating in 3D. If you see them, just adjust the position and slightly increase the scale until they disappear. Once you're done, move close to the end of the clip and set new keyframes for everything again. Position, scale, and in basic 3D for swivel and tilt. Now we're going to animate it a bit to create smooth movement. For that, change the swivel to the opposite value to create movement across the screen. Then adjust the scale and position slightly so the motion feels natural. For example, zooming in toward the mouse, clicking on the AI mode button. You can still make some final adjustments to fine-tune the movement. Just make sure to drag all the last keyframes exactly to the end of the clip so the animation finishes cleanly.